I'm now 34 years old, and I've been learning some things recently that I wish I knew sooner. So this video is for all the younger guys out there that need to hear this lesson. I'm going to start by saying that getting old is both awesome and terrible, but today we're talking mostly how it's pretty awesome. One thing I've been noticing now at 34 is that what I want in life, what I accept in life, my boundaries, my morals, what I deem acceptable versus unacceptable, what is in and out of integrity, is becoming easier to define. And the additional clarity that that has given me is actually pretty refreshing. It removes this burden. Now, when I was younger, and when many people are younger, it's very natural to look to others, because as humans, as we're growing up, we rely on social mimicry. We're looking at what are the people around us doing and how we can copy them. That's why you see young boys copy their fathers. And you would think that we grow out of that when we leave childhood and adolescence. But the truth is, when we start entering adolescence and young adulthood, we actually care less about what our parents are doing and care more about what our peers are doing. And we end up looking to our peers to see what we should or should not do. Should we smoke? Should we not? Should we party? Should we not? Should we drink? Should we not? Should we do drugs? Should we not? And we care so much about what other people think and say. And there's a lot of utility here, because when you are younger, you need to remain humble. Have the humility to know that you do not know all the answers. When I was in high school and early college, looking back, I was arrogant, man. And it wasn't because, it was really just for the singular reason that I had nothing to be truly confident about. Yes, I was a strong student, but that's not much. A lot of people are strong students. I wasn't some kick-ass athlete. I didn't have life figured out, as no teenager really does. And I was open to the ideas of others. And one piece of feedback I got time and time again throughout my 20s, especially my mid to late 20s, is that, hey, Kevin, you're so open to feedback. Because I would sometimes request and have tough feedback from friends or family members, and they would say things that are hard to hear. But I love that shit. I love feeling like I was learning and improving and getting a glimpse into something that I normally would never have the insight into, because it's so hard for us to be objective with ourselves. So I love getting feedback. And to get a little meta here, I was actually great at getting feedback, and it was a piece of feedback that I received, which was the way I take feedback was great, which is awesome, because you want to level yourself up. And even when I get critiques on my YouTube videos, a lot of times someone's gonna be less than savory with their delivery, but I always try to find the nugget of truth, the kernel of wisdom that I can use to improve from. My first ever troll comment was in, I believe, March or April of 2017. I had started Med School Insiders a few months prior, and we were blowing up. We were growing really rapidly at the time, and we were at 16,000 subscribers. This was right when the first viral video of ours was taking off. It was called How to Wake Up Early and Not Be Miserable. And it taught you the lessons that I learned from plastic surgery and from medical school on how to survive with less sleep. And all the little lessons I had learned such that you can actually wake up early even if you don't consider yourself a morning person. And I remember that first troll comment, someone just said dickhead. And it was hilarious. The first troll that ever left a comment, it was literally just dickhead. And I found so much humor and fun in that. And I was like, yo, I'm finally a YouTuber. I've made it, because you're a nobody until you get haters. And since then, granted with dickhead, I couldn't really take much value from that piece of feedback. But when I have gotten feedback from those that are less than, again, kind with their delivery, I still try to extract feedback. And that is a skill. You want to have the humility. But I've noticed that as you get older, you're going to have greater insight into what you do or do not tolerate and what you accept and don't accept. Now, earlier today, actually, I received feedback, not directly from a person, but through someone else, that I had this very strong reaction against. And I was like, this is interesting. Let me approach this with curiosity. Why am I rejecting this feedback? Because 3 years ago, I would have gobbled that up. In fact, I had a phone call with the person who was giving the feedback, and I was so open to their feedback. But now, just 2 years later, I was actually rejecting it. And why was that? And I realized that underneath, I had this sense, a strong sense of I knew what the truth was and what was right and what was wrong. And what this person was saying was actually highly hypocritical and not correct. And I then explained it to this intermediary, what my point was, which further solidified my belief. And it brought up some other ideas for me, which is that when I was younger, when a lot of us are younger, hopefully we are open-minded, we are more humble, and we are open to feedback and advice from others. Not that you always have to listen to that advice, because at the end of the day, like if I want to be an entrepreneur and someone else says, you should be a doctor, it's like, well, that's a choice that I need to make. I want to take all the data points and make my best informed decision. But sometimes with regards to the person that we are and how we come across in the world and what we do and don't do and what's right and what's wrong, we sometimes overly rely on those around us and we don't listen to ourselves. And as I was going deeper in the conversation, I was getting greater and greater clarity. Clarity about what I do and don't tolerate now. And I've told you guys a similar story where I was doing a self-development course in 2020 at the beginning of COVID. And they had a GI doctor who said that if you are standing in proximity next to someone who has COVID for 10 minutes, the risk of transmission was incredibly low. And I pushed back and I said, hey guys, your medical expert, quote, medical expert, is a gastroenterologist. He and I are equally unqualified to talk about this. Because a GI doctor knows shit all about respiratory infectious diseases and definitely no more than someone who trained in plastic surgery would know. What you would actually want to do is talk with an infectious disease expert, and neither of us were that. However, I made the point using first principles that, hey guys, this is early on in COVID. I said, we don't know if COVID is droplet or respiratory. It's one of the two. And if it is either one, then being in proximity for 10 plus minutes absolutely is a huge health hazard. This is back when I was what? I was 29 years old. I wasn't even 30 years old. So you got to keep in mind, this is also back when I wasn't as sure-footed as I am now. And this was like a Zoom call with like 50, 60, 70 people on the call. And the founder was there and he started attacking me. Kevin, you're trying to tear this thing down. I said, no, dude, like I'm just pointing out a real safety concern. I'm immunosuppressed. There's other people here that have valid health reasons why they do not want to get COVID. And you shouldn't be having a person that is tested positive with COVID in close proximity. This is not handled correctly. And it got very hostile very quick and escalated very fast. And during the call, I got really nervous. My heart was beating. I was like, well, I know that I'm right about this, but I'm also like just second guessing myself because here's the founder of the organization, this person of power, telling me how I'm being wrong. And he was actually then weaponizing the coaching. He was using the coaching against me to then coach me through this situation where I was like, hey, what do you feel about that? What's the story you're telling yourself? Blah, 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 blah. And the funny thing was I was torn because I was like, very high intensity situation. Am I acting out of line? What's going on? And after that call, I had an outpouring of all these people from the call reaching out to me on WhatsApp saying, yo, Kevin, I'm fucking proud of you, dog. You did the right thing. That guy was out of line. He was weaponizing the tools. Weaponizing is actually the term that they had used because sometimes we need others to help us see what's harder for us to see in the moment. But all these people were saying, yo, dude, proud of you, dog. You stood up. Both men and women were coming to me and saying they were proud of me for standing up. And lo and behold, as time went on, as we got more information about COVID, I was obviously correct. I was just practicing from first principles and say, hey guys, I understand you have your medical expert. I am just as qualified, or I should say unqualified is what I said. And I felt vindicated in a way. And it was one of these moments that started to build my confidence and to, again, it was still a few years down the road that I began to believe more in my own sense of right and wrong and listening to that gut instinct. Now, 34, 5 years later, I think that muscle is a lot more developed And it's tricky because you don't want to be arrogant. You don't want to think that, hey, I know all the answers now. I obviously don't know all the answers. But I do know what I consider to be acceptable or unacceptable behavior. Now, if you see someone who's young, who's 20 years old, is like, yeah, man, I always know what's what, and I hate when people do X, Y, and Z, and I agree, man. It's like, well, hold on, buddy. You probably want to be a little more humble at that age because you don't have as much experience. It's only after you get older, after you have more reps, and I'm only 34. I mean, I'm sure that when I'm 45, I'm going to look back at my 34-year-old self and think, wow, that guy was a fucking idiot. The same way that I look back to when I was 20, I think, wow, I was a fucking retard. Same thing. Also, as I'm driving these roads, I am inspired to make a video for you guys on how to enjoy driving without speeding or without driving incredibly recklessly. That'll be coming soon. And another thing that's come up for me is I told the story to my girlfriend who's sitting passenger right now, what had happened, the conversation, all those things. And I said, hey, I'm inspired right now. I want to go for a drive and make a video. And I'm just going to do one of those rambly videos, therapy drives, or whatever we call it. And it was funny to me because, babe, what did you say when I said I'm going for a drive? Yeah, that you want to come with me. And it's so funny because I've seen comments from other dudes whereby they believe, I've heard someone say that based on the body language of your legs, because they can't really see anything else, that you're like bored sitting in the passenger seat. And body language is actually really important. So kudos to those people that are paying attention to those things. Like, body language is very important, but when you're driving on a road, you can't really tell from someone's leg position as they sit in a very restricted position in a car what they're feeling emotionally. But the reason I bring this up and the reason I want you to challenge this is you can find a partner, you can have a girlfriend who actually enjoys like stuff like this, hearing you ramble. You guys maybe have similar intellectual curiosities or like to nerd out on similar things, or you guys can teach each other different things, right? Like, my girlfriend has taught me tons of stuff about cooking. And I'm so grateful because now when I eat my own home-cooked meals, I don't feel like vomiting, which is a huge quality of life improvement. And similarly, I nerd out about finances or some of this life stuff on this channel, and then she learns too. So anyways, don't limit yourself and don't believe that you can't ever find someone that isn't going to enjoy these conversations with you. Anyway, so back to the main topic at hand. What I have personally found as I've gotten older is that I used to believe that it was important to compromise and important to find harmony with others, which a lot of the times that is true. But I also believe that when there is a fundamental misalignment on values, on integrity, on things like that, that you cut that person out. And I told you guys in a separate video, I'm not going to rehash it here, about how I loaned someone $50,000 and I regretted it, and that actually ended the friendship. It's okay to have boundaries, to have certain understandings of what is acceptable and unacceptable behavior. And if people disrespect your boundaries and people are not helping you be better, they're not bringing value to your life, they're removing energy, making you less likely to achieve your goals, holding you back, being toxic, any of those things, cut them out. You don't owe anyone anything. And it doesn't matter what they've done in the past. It doesn't matter how they're related to you. If someone is bringing you down, you don't have to tolerate that. And that's something that I wish someone had told me sooner.